So in this video, let's talk about should you be using Facebook ads or Google ads for your local contractor client. Number one, let's get into the pros and cons of using Facebook ads. So the number one pro of using Facebook ads is if you have a visual service or a visual product you're trying to sell, for example, pools, for example, kitchen remodels, bathroom remodels, anything very physical looking, and you can appeal to the eye, you need to be using Facebook ads because for the most part, they're going to differentiate and you could call out your audience from the specific creative that you use alone. Let's say it's a luxury pool, it's going to call out a richer audience. Or let's say it's like a medium tier pool, it's going to target the medium middle income part of the USA. And on top of that, with Facebook ads, you generally have a cheaper cost per lead. However, there are cons associated with this. You could generate a lot of leads, but for the most part, if you have a lot of leads, but your local contractor client has no appointment setting or no sales process in mind, you're going to have a rough time. So now let's get into the cons of Facebook ads. With Facebook ads, it's just catching people whenever they're doom scrolling on their Instagram or Facebook. So generally, there's going to be lower intent in terms of the buyers. However, what happens is the pixel is pretty smart. So let's say a homeowner is searching it up on Google, they go to Facebook, doom scroll, and then they get targeted with pool ads or kitchen remodel ads. So for the most part, the intent is going to be more window shoppers, but they can also be high quality if they came in from like Google ads or if they came in from Google organic search and then Facebook tracked that on the pixel. And on top of that, with the cons of Facebook ads is there's a lot of angles to test. This is more so a pro and a con, so you can separate yourself from the competition. But let's say the creative is a angle that we could test, the copy is an angle we could test, the landing page that we eventually send our clients to is also another angle we could test. The questions that we ask is another angle that we could test to basically filter out all the unqualified leads. So the angles to test is more so like a pro and con, but you really need to be pretty dialed in marketing, or you just keep it simple and just start testing one angle at a time. So now let's get into Google ads. So let's talk about the pros of Google ads. So with Google ads, it's going to be high search intent because these people are searching for, let's say, roof insulation in XYZ city. So all the people need a new roof. It's just a matter of separating yourself from the competition. And there's less variables to test. So essentially, they're just searching for a keyword. There's no creative attached with the Google ads. Maybe you have a small picture, but for the most part, nobody really looks at that. So if you're targeting a industry where, let's say it's HVAC, EV chargers, or roofers, for the most part, a roof all looks kind of similar. An HVAC, a generator, a heat pump all looks the same, and then EV chargers all look the same. So for the most part, if it's an industry where it's not very luxurious, like in terms of like visual appealing, you could go ahead and go with Google ads. So let's talk about the cons of this. So there's no real separation on Google in terms of the keyword. You could say best roofer in Houston, but for the most part, you can't really separate yourself from the creative. On top of that, it's really bad if you don't have reviews. So for the most part, they're going to see your Google ad, and then they're going to search you up on Google to see what your reviews are looking like and if you have a good site or not. If the site doesn't tell anything about your business, it's not going to be a good time for you. And then we have higher cost per lead. So for the most part, I don't like to over-index on the cost per lead. At the end of the day, it's only about the customer acquisition costs. But for the most part, let's say you have a client and they're not getting any leads. They might get 2 or 4 per month from Google ads, but these are very high search intent. But your contractor might think that you guys aren't doing anything. So you really have to set expectations up with them, where Facebook ads, you have more leads, but it might be lower search intent. Google ads might have less leads, more expensive, but it's higher search intent. So you really need to set that expectation ahead of time. And then Google ads is very competitive, right? It's very costly to actually bid on these keywords because everybody and their mothers are probably trying to bid for roof insulation in XYZ city, especially if it's a metropolitan city. So that's pretty much it in terms of Google ads and Facebook ads. To recap, basically if it's a visual product or a visual service, go ahead and go with Facebook ads. And then if it's a standalone, pretty basic service, go ahead and go to Google ads. However, you can't try both. There's been people just killing it. And maybe in one region, Facebook ads works better. In another region, Google ads works better. So I'll definitely split test it. But for the most part, visual, go Facebook. Non-visual, go Google. And I'll catch you in the next video.